Greetings. Welcome to episode 15 of BM. I am Bailey and
I'm Maxie.
we are discussing books and movies by Bailey and Maxie.
That's correct. And tonight we come to a series, The Hunger Games. We can allow that some of the titles we have discussed or will be discussing have not yet made it to your radar. This one, though, we will find it hard to understand if you've never heard of.
Indeed.
So, The Hunger Games is young adult fiction novels. It has been made into a movie. I'll be discussing the novels. You discussing the novels?
Yes.
Yeah, novels.
Well, and some of the takes from the movie that I like.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, this is a dystopian future-ish. You know, there's no super amazing technology involved that would make it feel like it's far in the future, you know.
Right.
Unlike some others we've seen, and I think it's silent as to the date. So, in this world, the world is made up of a capital, this District 1, and then 13 districts.
Mm-hmm.
And 13 districts, including
the capital.
1. Yeah, sorry. So every year, children from 12 of the districts are selected via a lottery. Selected to serve as tributes. And so two from each, one young lady, one young man, at a specific age, right? Or a range of ages?
Range of ages.
Yeah. So beginning with 13, you can be selected up through, I forget, 17, 18, something like that. And so one male, one female from each district, 24 young humans engage in a game, a battle to the death. And the winner is awarded citizenship in the capital. Boom. What a paradise.
And they also get their own house in their district.
Yeah.
And like winner's circle or whatever.
Rich and famous.
To be honest, in a battle to the death, there aren't that many victors which you can share life with. True.
It's a good point. So, again, the capital, District 1, is inhabited by the upper crust of this society. They live lavish lives. It is for their entertainment that the Hunger Games are put on each year, televised live. And compared to them, the other districts live in significant poverty. So each of the districts is responsible for a specific contribution. For example, one is farms, one mines, etc. So
one is C, maybe it's like District 4.
Fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. So there we have it. The Hunger Games. Go ahead.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was already thinking of, it's really easy. Okay, so let me back up. In the midst of the Hunger Games, they are given kind of like a coach who is someone from their district who has previously won the Hunger Games. So it would be someone that has lived through the Hunger Games, and someone who is in the winner's circle, someone that's known in their district for winning. So this person also acts as their advocate during the Hunger Games, kind of trying to get sponsorship. Like at one point, Katniss Everdeen is able to get medicine because her coach Haymitch is able to get medicine for her. So for me, I think
hold right there. Can you hold that thought for just a second for the interjection? This life-saving bandage brought to you by Gross. Go on. Sponsorships. Instead of a patch on your jersey, you have a patch on your arm if you are able to get that sponsorship mid-battle royale. Continue.
Right. But yes, and for me, the MVP of the books is Haymitch. He is my favorite. He drinks a lot because he's been through a lot. But he also knows how to play the game, which is what the Hunger Games are. You're basically trying to survive. Also, some of the districts have what they call careers, who are not students, but they are people of age who go to the reaping, but they're basically trained to represent their district in the Hunger Games. So it reminds me of athletes that go to that school in Florida for high school, and then they go straight to college or straight to pro sports because they are of that caliber of skill. However, our heroine, Katniss, and the hero, Peeta, they were not trained for this. They were kind of thrown into it. Katniss, I feel like one of the themes of the books is Katniss's reluctance to take on her identity as a symbol of a revolution.
Right.
And Peeta is always second guessing himself because he's not the strong hunter. He is a baker of bread, and I know he's very warm. Got mad icing skills, which come in later to help him with camouflage. So
yes, let's mention that and move on. So this story. So that's the
first book.
So essentially, as it turns out, Katniss and Peeta are the last two living in the game, and Katniss decides not to play the game. So she comes up with a solution. She and Peeta agree that they will both eat poison berries, essentially commit double suicide and ruin the game for the Capitol, and force the Capitol to intervene and declare double winners, which of course is very bad form on their part to deprive the people of a clear winner. So then in book 2, Catching Fire, the story continues, and this is about the time when Katniss becomes this sort of symbol of the resistance, the desire to throw off the shackles of the Capitol, as it were, and rally all of the districts to fight for freedom. And then Mockingjay rounds out the series with Katniss becoming the Mockingjay. She becomes the symbol, and she has worn a pin of a Mockingjay since the first fight, and so she becomes the Mockingjay and saves the day. We won't completely ruin the whole series. All right, so there we go. There's our story. Some cool tech I'm not like futuristic tech, but the battleground, the place where they have the fight, has a lot of technologically controlled features. So it is shaped like the face of a clock. And
in book 2, I think so.
Yeah. So it changes every hour, I think is the thing, or something happens every hour. So like the release of fire, like a wall of fire, a flood, killer bees, right? Or were they murder hornets?
Murder hornets.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe that's what's happening. Maybe
we're in the Hunger Games.
Us.
Yes. All well, right. There is going to be a meat shortage soon, right?
Right. So maybe meet some bakers to help us through here.
I did want to point out, if our fans are watching, one of the differences between the movie and the book, I think that they do a good job of. In the movie, they kind of show the reaction of districts when their tributes are hurt or killed, because it is the Hunger Games. People die. And in the book, you don't hear about other districts fighting against the Capitol. But that's a really touching part in the movie for me, when a tribute dies and a district just loses it. And it's a really sweet montage, even though it's very sad and very raw of what's happening. But I think in the movie, they try to give you a little bit more background as to why that happens. And hopefully this year, if we don't all die, there is another book coming out that's supposed to be a prequel to the Hunger Games. I do not know the exact date of publication, but it is this year.
It is upon us, May 19th, actually.
Stop. That's 7 days.
Yes.
I don't know why we're British, but
this episode is not sponsored by, what is it, HarperCollins or whoever it is.
Suzanne.
I meant the publishing company, but yeah, Suzanne. Suzanne did not sponsor. Suzanne, if you want to hop in here, just text us. We'd be happy to have you tell us your thoughts about our thoughts about your series and your book, which we haven't read yet. Advanced copy would be fine too.
Yellow.
Yeah. So analysis, dear friend, what you got?
So comparing this dystopian society to our present day, the politics can be seen in both worlds as, like, the people who know how to play the game are the ones who are winning. Yeah. President Snow is just a very scary leader. And there's lots of, that's one of the things I'm interested in to read the prequel, because it kind of, I think it's supposed to give the story of how he becomes President Snow. But it seems that their government is very similar to ours. They put this brave face on and mask the Hunger Games as some sort of ceremony to bring Panem together, when in reality it's putting children against other children to kill each other for food. So I think pomp and circumstance, it's definitely something that we do as a culture. Like when you look at any sporting event, we don't fight to the death like gladiators anymore.
Right.
Unless you're thinking of bullfighting. But football, real sad. Your thought?
Yeah. So just some almost silliness. So the name of the country is country itself is Panem. So pan, the root pan meaning all. I haven't worked on this too hard, but so what? All of them, we're all in this together. As in yes, I do have 3 daughters. So our society won't work, which means we, the elite, will not be able to have our lavish parties if you don't harvest your lumber, District 7. If you don't create your machines, District 3. Don't be selfish. You are helping create a great society, maybe the best ever. And so, yeah, I do see parallels here. Like, how dare you say things aren't great? Well, I mean, of course they're not perfect, but they're so much better than they used to be, etc., etc. Yeah. So subservience by another name, and it's almost as if the Hunger Games, I don't know, serve as, so on one level they're adding injury to insult, so we're going to take 2 of yours, and by each other's hand we will cause them to die, and then the one that doesn't, we will make part of us and then send back to you as a reminder that we can take any of your people whenever we want, and command them to do what, and that is actually treated in the book, talked about that we, yes, we can. Watch us. We're doing it. We're doing it right now. So that's anyway. So
right, because when Katniss and Peeta win, then of course they have to go on a press junket throughout all of the districts of Panem, and of course their lives are like in the tabloids, and so they are at the beck and call of the government of the capital of Panem, President Snow, all the things.
Right. Yeah. So the one thing that was inspirational to me in the book and then also in the movie is just the power of hope, that, and in fact, it's interesting that Katniss, as the catalyst for revolution, didn't want to be that. That sometimes or oftentimes, the aversion to notoriety and power is the very thing that makes one the best candidate for such leadership. That those who hunger for power are perhaps least best advised to have it. She really does not care, let alone authority and power. She doesn't even want the notoriety. And then also, so it's connected to that she serves as a symbol of hope for everyone just by being herself. She didn't pull that stunt to be the heroine. She pulled the stunt because on a very personal level, she just said, no, I'm not going to play your game. And you want me to die, so I'm going to die on my terms. So anyway, that to me, that kind of, I think in a lot of ways, that attitude she has is perhaps not antithetical, but it just does not jive with the American ideal. So we want this rugged individualism that is also the hero, like looking for the hero within each of us. And she's not trying to be a hero. She's just trying to make sense of the world and do her thing, And by do her thing, I mean she just wants to live. She wants to figure out if she loves this boy or not, and so it's yeah.
Right. We have not addressed the love triangle.
It's there.
We don't have to. Yes.
Well, but I mean, I think at least mentioning it, very few of these dystopians say, but even as the world crumbles, you will still have to worry about which boy to choose.
Whew.
So, yeah. Hey, parent of girl, as a parent of girls, good times.
Yeah.
Okay. Good talk.
Yes.
So it, as mentioned on social media, it's the week of trilogies. What's up next?
On Friday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will be discussing Clive Staples Lewis's Space Trilogy. Now, this is, again, like Andrew said in the previous episode, this is not like Narnia. It is an allegory, a story, including space travel, Merlin, talking heads, a creation allegory on the planet Venus. Like, it's amazing, but it is a little trippy, especially the third book. It's like he was just thrown in the kitchen sink, but it's very good. I think I listened to them all on audiobook while I was driving, but a couple of years ago, but they're very, very good. My favorite one is the second one, Paralandia. So that's my favorite of the trilogy, but the third one, it ends well. You're still muted.
Love it. Sorry. Yeah. No. Yeah. Paralandra is the second one.
Paralandra.
Can't wait. Wannabe C.S. Lewis fans, go get these books. Read them. Hey, pro tip, no matter where you live in the United States, there's a 95% chance that your library has Overdrive. And if your library has Overdrive, you can borrow books digitally. And if your library doesn't already have a copy of these, it's very, very easy to recommend purchases to your library. And guess what? Librarians can't have open hours, so they're probably just sitting there waiting for you to recommend more books for them to buy.
Yes.
Just do it.
Yes. I would. Yes. Shout out to Overdrive, because that is how I've been able to read or listen to the books this season on BM by BM.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Hey, Overdrive/Sora. If you're looking for a show to sponsor, we won't be mad. We could talk about a little bit higher ratio of books.
Yes.
All right. Good time. So Friday, 8 p.m. Central Time.
Yes.
The C.S. Lewis Space Trilogy.
Yes.
We'll catch you then when Bailey.
Maxie.
Great term. We'll get that
We're getting better at that.
Someday.
Have a great night, everybody.